and I'm really looking forward to catching up with Lauren Haynes, Oxford United women's captain. Good morning, Lauren. It's come home. That feels pretty good to say, doesn't it?
Oh, it's incredible. I think, off the back of the men's Euros and the back of, I think, just England international football for a long time. It's incredible to be able to finally say it. And even better, obviously a little bit biased, but from a women's point of view.
Yeah, and it was an amazing game. Just kind of go through the feeling of watching the game yesterday and going through those emotions and seeing the players out there. You know it yourself from playing. What must have been going through their minds, and obviously going to extra time as well, and added impetus against Germany. All of these things. It was the perfect storm of the perfect game and the perfect win.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head there. I mean, I think, it started the group stage when England played Austria. It was quite obvious they were quite nervous. And I thought from then, I think England grew kind of in the tournament, but again, never really had that energy from the start. And it always took something to keep them going. And, I thought they might be a little bit apprehensive going into the game at Wembley with, 87,000 fans against Germany on homeland. And they're going to be nervous. None of them have ever done it before. Like, it's like me and you saying it would be absolutely, crying probably.
Yeah, yeah. I really would.
and they go in and they look so professional. They look so ready even from the starting lineup. And I thought the game, it was quite equal early doors. Both creating chances, both obviously tactically had planned for the big occasion. And again, I think it still took England that first thing to get them going, and that was obviously the Germans going 1-0 up, and they look comfortable. But then we go late into the game, and then all of a sudden that ball from Kira Walsh, which is absolutely outstanding, by the way,
next level,
and then the audacity of Ella Toone to dink the goalkeeper from about 20 yards out was just absolutely unreal. I think for that moment then, I think the nation knew, and I think the nation knew anyway that England could win it. But I think that was the real believing point for England. I mean, only took them like 80 odd minutes. But that was the real believing point to know that if it did go to extra time, I think it would be able to say it's coming home.
Yeah, and what I loved about it as well, and this is coming from sort of a football fan's point of view, as well as obviously a brilliant finish and obviously a brilliant victory, but the game management as well. It was never in doubt. I was watching that game, and even though it's extra time, and my wife was next to me going, "How long's left? How long's left?" And I was like, "There's 5 minutes left." And I was there just going, "This is absolutely fine." They had the game management absolutely sorted, putting it into the corners, knocking off the German players, and just that side of things showed such maturity. And to do that, like you said, on home soil in front of 85,000 fans against Germany in a final, I almost thought that was the best bit.
I think it's one of them parts of football, isn't it, that you don't really coach, and it comes a lot of experience. And I mean, if you're going to score in extra time, you definitely want to score it in the second half, because if you score it in the first half, you've got a time waste for a very, very long time. You probably won't get away with it as much. And I think it was quite obviously England and the Germans were tired. They've had a long tournament. Obviously, Germany played a day later. England already went to extra time earlier on in the competition. And the maturity and the professionalism, and especially from the likes of Chloe Kelly, who's a young player who's literally just finished her rehab about 3 months ago, time wasting, just keeping the ball in the corner, just the dark hearts of football, which was absolutely incredible to see. And I think you look at the men's game, they would be not fighting, but I think it's a lot different outlook on the game in that situation. And I thought England did it absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah, and in terms of the impetus for the women's game going forward, I mean, the quotes that have come out from straight after the game, just incredible. Women's football is never going to be the same again. I know that a lot of it was surrounding, if you can see it, then you can be it. And I know that there's going to be so many young girls watching that, yesterday going, that could be me up there in a few years' time. That could be me playing for Oxford United women. That could be me getting into an England team. Right? The landscape from literally that final is completely changed now.
Yeah, and I think that whole point there in terms of being able to see it is the vital part. And I think it's almost frustrating but really proud at the same time. When you've been involved in women's football for so long, this is normal. Do you know what I mean? Like, Don't get me wrong, England winning the Euros isn't normal, but the build-up, the attendances, the style of play, the football that is played on the pitch is normal. So from that point of view, it's a little bit frustrating. People are only just seeing that now. But at the same time, it's absolutely incredible they're finally able to see it right now. And I think if you know, you genuinely know, like, this is it, this is the norm, this is what women's football is all about. And if people don't know and people haven't known, I think they're going to finally realise. The football, tactically, technically, women are absolutely outstanding. And the generation of players now coming up from, as young as 4, 5, 6 can actually finally look up to these role models, lifting trophies, celebrating. And I think you see it in the post-match interviews after the game, how humble and how honest. And it was actually quite funny and entertaining at times, because in the men's, you don't see that side because they're so protected by media. They're so protected by what their agents may or might not say. And it was actually so nice to see, like, I think it was like Millie Bright and Rachel Daly having a bit of a laugh together. Mary Earps is absolutely mental. And it's so refreshing to see that. And I think young females would be able to associate themselves with that a lot more. And I think the accessibility within the women's game is a lot better, therefore making it a lot more inspiring for these young females now. But not even just young females, young boys as well, to then go and thrive and, challenge themselves into football.
Yeah, you sum it up absolutely beautifully. And it's funny, you kind of mentioned all the things that I was having a conversation with my wife with yesterday, and all the build up and the lead up to the game. I've seen more personality in this 1 week following the Lionesses than I have done in my 30 odd years of being a football supporter. It's just been incredible. They play for each other. They seem to get on. They have a laugh. I mean, Chloe Kelly just dropping the mic and going and singing "Sweet Caroline." That's what I would be doing. That's what you'd be doing, Lauren. If you want that, that's what you'd be doing. You'd want to go. I don't want to do an interview. I want to go and sing with my teammates. It captured the togetherness of the nation, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, I think you summed up there. You see so much more personality within the game, and I think that in itself is just so aspiring to be like. And I think it also proves that footballers are brilliant athletes in terms of what they do, but actually they're normal people like me and you, and obviously a lot better at football than us, hence why they're playing at the Euros. But they're not what's probably made out to be. They are superstars, but they're not unimaginable there, and they're real people. And I think people forget that sometimes about footballers. Yeah. These women have had to graft, and there's some of them that have had to work part-time jobs. There's some of them that have had, still study degrees, that are lawyers and doctors and teachers, and they're just normal people.
Yeah.
Now they're normal people with superstar status.
Exactly, and richly deserved as well. Well, we chatted a lot about England, and thank you so much for coming on. But also, a big season coming up as well for Oxford United women. The season kicks up in a few weeks' time, doesn't it?
Yeah, so 21st of August, we host Bridgewater at home, which we're really looking forward to. So we play up all our games at Oxford City on the 3G there. So yeah, we're looking forward to having a home game to start the season, especially off the back of that yesterday.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure the crowds will be there in full force, especially, after, as I say, the shot in the arm that has been the wonderful victory yesterday. Lauren Haynes, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate you getting up after the game yesterday. Thank you.
Cheers.